Hey everybody, it's Lachelle, America's Supermom. I just want to take this time to say you are enough. As I was going on my walk earlier today, I was pondering the thought that a lot of times we don't take action because we compare ourselves to other people, situations, things, or environments, and we believe that we're not enough. And so if you're not enough of something, that's usually a term that you're using for comparing yourself to someone, something, or circumstance. So if we are comparing ourselves to others, we're already having the wrong mindset from the very beginning. Because when you know that you're enough, you recognize that the beauty that you have to add value, to solve a problem, to encourage, all comes from a place of you being uniquely you. Imagine where this world would be if the only fruit we had were bananas. There's some of us that are allergic to bananas. Some of us just don't like them. So if you have to have a balanced diet of fruit and vegetables, and the only fruit there were bananas, and you were allergic or you didn't like it, or maybe you were even in a part of the country that you didn't have access to bananas, the only fruit, what would your diet look like? How would your life be different if you didn't have access to the fruit that you needed in order to live a healthy life? Now, that's a pretty far fetched illustration, but the illustration is showing you that life is full of unique, different fruits, vegetables, foods, people, formulas, mindsets, clothing, cultures, rituals, all these things, this variety, this melting pot, so to speak, makes life that much richer. It gives us variety, things that we can do differently. It allows us to be creative, to not limit ourselves to the area that we grew up in. You know, if you were raised in the inner city, if you stay in that one place and never travel, you think everybody's reality of what you experience in the inner city is what everybody else experiences in life. And it's not until you get out of your comfort zone that you see the beauty in all the differences that there are, and how you can create those differences starting with yourself, with your own mindset of believing that I am enough. So I challenge everybody to think about, instead of wondering why you are not enough, think about ways that you add value, that you make the world a better place. What are some of your strengths and talents? What are some things that keep you going when you're faced with obstacles? Because the reality is, everybody has a flaw. In order for you to be compassionate and have empathy for other people, because that is the one thing that lets you remember that you're not perfect. There's a scripture in the Bible that says, "He who is without sin cast the first stone." And I don't think anybody has the ability to cast any stones, Because a lot of the sins that we do are things that we try to keep hidden. If it's secrets or masking, our true feelings because we feel like we're not going to be understood or nobody's going to support us if we let them see the real us or, we can't let them down because we are creating this fantasy picture that is nothing but a fantasy. Because the secret to self development and growth is to realize that we are all born with some flaw. It may be physical, it could be a disability, it could be a speech impediment, it could be low income, it could be abused by family, friends, or strangers. We all have this major thing that may stand out to us as something that could be our downfall. But the true way to succeed is to realize that that downfall is not going to stop you. It's not your destiny. It's one event that may have happened that we give the power to by repeating it over and over and over again in our head. Or we revert back to it to justify why we feel we're not enough. So the true thing about courage and success is not to be hindered by our disabilities, whether they be self-inflicted or we're a victim. It's to realize, man, I have to recognize what is the one thing that I'm passionate about that I won't let anything stop me. Not even my past, not even my mindset, not even my limiting beliefs. Because the truth is, we're born with these flaws, and only the strong survive. So if you're familiar with Darwin, he is a scientific philosopher who said it's survival of the fittest. And for that, that's true. Because you're not going to be able to survive if you don't adapt and find a way to overcome your limitations and not allow them to stop you for the greater things that lie ahead. So we have to be fit with our bodies, with our minds, with our actions, with how we speak, because we are giving our power away when we do anything differently. So today, look in the mirror and tell yourself, I am enough, because I am the only fill in your name there is in this world. I'm a unique creature with my own blueprint, and I don't have to compare myself to other people anymore. I can empower myself to have the life that I desire, and it's not limited by my past. It's only limited by the opportunities that I fail to take action on. So be encouraged. Remember, you are enough. And remind yourself of that daily until it sinks in and you don't have to remind yourself of that anymore. Have a great day. Bye.